This is Motorsport Radio. Join the conversation and have your say on motorsport-radio.com. Motorsport Radio. The Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Superbike Show here on Motorsport Radio. My name is Lester and we are back once again to talk, bikes, really. Everything from BSB, MotoGP, World Superbikes and much more, including all the latest news. So if you've been out and about and you've missed anything that's going on, we will tell you. We'll keep you right up to date. And we will tell you exactly all the latest BSB movements, including on this show tonight. We have two men who have been recently announced for two BSB teams. Ben Curry is going to be on the show tonight. And we'll be hopefully getting him on the phone a bit later on. And also, as well, later in around 20-odd minutes' time, hopefully, if he answers the phone, that is, we will be getting Mr. Luke Mossey on the phone as well, so that should be good. Joining us tonight, as ever, it is Mr. Kiko Giles. Hello, good evening, Kiko.
Good evening. Nice to see you all. Thanks for joining us. Lots to talk about tonight. We're going to review Japan MotoGP. We're going to preview Australia. We're going to be previewing the Qatari World Superbike round. We're going to be talking to Luke Mossey, talking to Ben Curry, and going around all the news and rumours as well. So lots to get in a couple of hours.
Exactly, yes. And I should probably just let you know that tonight's show is being temporarily pre-recorded, so that, unfortunately, if you have been sending in messages, we're not going to read them out. We recorded it a couple of hours earlier today. Here is literally one that we made earlier. Anyway, shall we get on with whatever it was that we were planning on talking about then, Kiko? I think we should.
The news, lots of it actually. Well, not lots of it, but big news, I'd say. MotoGP headlining since Japan. Jorge Lorenzo missing the Australian Grand Prix through injury sustained at, first of all, back in Aragon, compounded again with a massive crash in Thailand. He's replaced, I'm so happy to say, by Alvaro Bautista, has finally, in his last MotoGP season for now, got a factory Ducati ride. It has been long overdue. Congratulations, Alvaro Bautista. We'll be talking about Australia this weekend coming up. Alvaro Bautista now at Ducati Works, round corners, might be a bit of a shout. Don't put it past him. Other news, his replacement, Alvaro Bautista obviously can't ride for both bikes. He's at the factory Ducati team. He's left the Angel Nieto team for now. He's replaced by Mike Jones. Mike Jones has, I think, scored a point in Australia before as a wild card on a very old Ducati, so expect good things from him. Maria Herrera, talking of the Angel Nieto racing team, joins that team in the Moto E class, a brand new class coming in for 2019. Xavier Simeon, yet to score a point at his best finish of the year back in Japan with a 16th place and less than 2 seconds off his first points. And Eric Granado, the Brazilian rider who was in Moto2 at the start of the year for the Ford Racing team, they've gone to the Esponsorama Moto E team, which is basically the vintage Ducati team, but they've gone to Moto E. So those two riders are the big headlining names in the new class of next year. And in Moto2, Brian Starring has replaced both Ben Schneider at Tech 3 Racing. So lots of changes and signings and announcements there. Major one, Alvaro Bautista replacing Jorge Lorenzo. He's only got 3 more rounds to go in his MotoGP career.
Interesting, that one, because a lot of people didn't think maybe Lorenzo would actually sort of sit the rounds out. Maybe they thought he was sort of kind of like faking it a little bit. I know I certainly last week anyway, when he was warning that he might not race, I thought, just pull yourself together. You know, people turn up with like broken necks and still go racing and stuff. But
let alone broken toes. Turns out it's his forearm now as well. So
I think there's more to it than it just being a... I mean, suddenly to have a rider, you know, suddenly affected by, I don't know, an injury. Not even a serious injury, but whatever. If it's not political, I apologise. But anyway, it should be interesting to see how Bautista should go anyway. He's currently, 12th in the standings overall. Being on a different machine, would it do him any good? I mean, how will he actually go?
I think he's going to go really well. People will look at that 12th place in the championship standings. He has had a massive run of top 10s, ended in Aragon, back at in 8th place in Thailand, 5th place and top Ducati in Japan. Bautista has been on a brilliant form lately. He's going for top 10 in the championship. He is going probably for podiums, I'd say, in Australia, because the Australian round is a round that most of the independent teams can go well at. It has been one of those circuits over the last few years. Last year, you'll remember Johan Zarco being really good, finished 4th. Cal Crutchlow won in 2016. In 2015, we didn't really have so many independent team machines up there. In 2014, we had Aleix Spargo up there and in the mix. Jack Miller was also another rider from last year who did really well. So Alvaro Bautista on the factory Ducati, he's been going well on that privateer Ducati. Now he's at the factory. Things should go well. Having said that, Hector Barber got the chance of his career 2 years ago on the factory Ducati at the Japanese Grand Prix, replacing Andrea Iannone whilst Iannone was injured, and didn't really live up to it. It all depends if Ducati have sorted out their issues. The Australian Grand Prix last year at Phillip Island was a disaster for them. No Ducatis, I don't think, inside the top 10. The Vizioso, it arguably cost him a good shot at the championship. So Alvaro Bautista, I don't think there's any pressure on him. He's not staying in the championship for next year, but he will want to go out in a big way. Hopefully, it's going to be a nice result for him.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see anyway. And like you say, probably no pressure on him. And it will just be good to see him riding with, as you say, no pressure really. Just go out and basically have a bit of fun, see what he can do. So, and
of course, he will get used to the factory environment again. He hasn't been in a factory team, an actual proper factory team since Suzuki. A lot of people will say he went to Aprilia. It's run by a privateer team, Gresini, but the Aprilia manufacturer has a bit of involvement. And he's obviously going to the factory Ducati team in World Superbike. So the factory environment in the right factory, some would say. I think he's going to be a good little taster for him.
On to other news as well. Back to Superbikes and World Superbikes and BSB news.
Yeah, World Superbikes and BSB news. Not a lot of World Superbike news, apart from the fact, and it hasn't been official yet, we should make that clear, but Tom Sykes and Marcus Reiterberger, sources say, ThinkCrash.net reported it, that they will spearhead an all-new BMW team for Sean Muir in 2019.
I thought that was official.
It is official in some news outlets. I've not had a press release through, so take it as you find it. I don't think it's been officially announced on the World Superbike website either. I may be wrong, but that's the latest with that.
Okay.
And this is a factory Milwaukee BMW. This isn't like the Altea BMWs where it's run individually. This brand new BMW is meant to be the absolute dog's knackers, really. There's a load of them coming into the British Superbike paddock. I know PR Racing should have one for Joe Francis for next year. So there's a massive, brilliant new all-conquering BMW, and in the hands of Tom Sykes and BMW's favourite son, Marcus Reiterberger, they could be something pretty special. Marcus Reiterberger obviously stepping back into Superbikes. He started last year with the Altea BMW team, broke his back quite badly and didn't really come back properly. Won the European FIM Superstock 1000 class championship this year, the last rider to do so, and he will stay in the BMW family moving on into World Superbikes. And Dorna get their German rider back in World Superbikes, so that's great to see. And they also get another bit of manufacturer in there as well as a factory thing.
I'm sure there's more than one German rider to go around though.
There is. Stefan Bradl though is at Honda, the test team at Honda in MotoGP, and apart from that, there ain't that many fast German riders out there. Jonas Folger would have been a massive catch for Dorna, but he's a Yamaha test rider for MotoGP on part of their new European test team. So there's not many fast German riders going about. On to British Superbikes, we're talking to Luke Mossey later. We announced, or we put out as a rumour last week that he was going to OMG. We knew all along.
Did we? We didn't say that. We didn't know.
We knew all along he was going to go there.
We were just reading other people's comments out, and they were suggesting
absolutely.
That's what it was.
We never said anything like that. Luke Mossey to OMG Racing then. Ben Curry's gone to JD Speedfit Kawasaki. The main conversation tonight we want you guys to have in the comments: who is going to finish higher in the championship? Luke Mossey on the OMG Racing Suzuki or Ben Curry on the JD Speedfit Kawasaki? And they're both on. So
it's almost like we're playing them off each other.
Oh, maybe we are. Lee Jackson has signed with FS3 Kawasaki in the National Superstock 1000 Championship to go for another chance at success there. And in British Superbikes, back to BSB, Michael Laverty's confirmed his departure from the Tyco BMW team and the championship overall. It'll be a great loss to them. He's going to focus on endurance racing and his broadcast commitments with BT Sport. No
big surprise, though. I think people were kind of expecting him to probably go anyway, I would say, with Laverty. But yeah, still, it's a shame to see such a name gone from BSB anyway, and
maybe Eugene will come back. He's just lost his ride, of course, at Milwaukee Aprilia. Who knows where Eugene will end up?
I don't know. If you've got any opinions on this, any thoughts whatsoever, even though we are not live tonight,
the conversation doesn't stop.
We do still read. That'll be the ironic thing, because wherever we are right now, we'll still be checking out the comments just to see if anyone's been slagging us off, won't we, though, Kiko?
Oh, of course. Well, we see them anyway.
Anyway, no, but yeah, leave us your comments. You can still interact with the show, as it is kind of sort of live anyway, streamed live anyway. And yeah,
we enjoy reading them.
We enjoy reading a lot of comments, not all of them. Mostly, all of them. No
95% of them.
Yeah. So let us know either way. This is the Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio. Hello and welcome. My name is Lester. On the show, still to come, Luke Mossey is here. Ben Curry is here. And yeah, Kiko hopefully has some really interesting questions for them. I know Ben is somewhat of a regular to Motorsport Radio and the Superbike Show anyway, and it's good to have him back, especially with the big news. If you've just joined us a bit late and you don't know the big news, that Ben is now a BSB rider with JG Speedfit Kawasaki. So that'll be good.
And he is replacing Luke Mossey, of course.
He might be replacing Haslam. We don't know exactly, because yeah, anyway, stop stirring. Anyway, but yeah, let us know your thoughts on anything that gets said tonight on the comments box below, wherever you're tuned in to us. Right, so back to MotoGP then, and yeah, there was the small matter of the I was trying to remember what you called this particular circuit last time. Was it off air? I can't remember. But
No, Twin Ring Motegi.
Yeah.
I was calling the Kimi Ring circuit in Finland, which is still yet to be built.
Other bit of news as well that you forgot to mention as well regarding circuits, which broke yesterday, I believe. I think in the Belfast Telegraph or whatever it was. The Northern Ireland circuit that was proposed, which was already announced in the World Superbike calendar, has gone into receivership, that owning company. So that's not going to be a thing anymore, like we ever thought it would do.
Oh, dear. So that's some news then.
Did I break news to you? That. Did I tell you something you didn't know?
I didn't know that at all. Didn't know that. Didn't see that anywhere.
Oh, well.
Shows what kind of a journalist I am. You did some journalist. Look at him, he's all smug now.
I did a journalist. Anyway, so yeah, back to MotoGP then, and yeah, the old twin ring thing, which Kiko isn't fond of.
It's a bit boring.
But it produced a decent race, though.
Not really. A bit boring.
Well, what happened in the race?
Sorry, yeah, Marc Marquez won the title. Andrea Dovizioso pushing on a bit too much with 1.5 laps to go, tucking the front at that infamous turn 10 hairpin. Dovi didn't score any points. Marquez won the race as V1. That was it. It was all done and dusted. Marc Marquez is champion. Dovizioso wanted to retain his Japanese Grand Prix crown, of course, as well. Wasn't able to do so. Second place, Cal Crutchlow. Third place, Alex Rins. So Alex Rins, again, another podium. Cal Crutchlow, again, another podium.
Don't say it so violently.
Fourth, Valentino Rossi, top Yamaha for the Doctor. Still not on the podium. Back-to-back fourth places for the Italian. He'll be looking to get back on the podium at Phillip Island, where, of course, he has been second for the last 2 years and was fourth in 2015, first in 2014 and third in 2013. So his history since being back on the Yamaha at Phillip Island is pretty good. And the Yamaha normally goes quite well there. We'll see. Alvaro Bautista, as I've said, took 5th place and top Ducati. OK, wouldn't have been top Ducati had Andrea Dovizioso stayed on. Nonetheless, still by far and away the top Ducati. No one else even coming near him, really. 6th place was Johan Zarco. Andrea Iannone looked like a podium contender until he crashed out. Same place as Andrea Dovizioso a few laps earlier. Don't laugh. Happy Shiring took a top 10 for Tech 3, so a double top 10 for Tech 3. Now, that hasn't happened all year, so top stuff from the French outfit. Can't believe I'm supporting people that are French.
Stop it.
KTM have a strong race with Bradley Smith in 12th place. Paul Espargaro only just behind him there as well, so 2 points scoring finishes for the KTM. They haven't had the best of seasons, let's admit. We had expected a little bit more. I think they were running 2nd and 5th last year on the first couple of corners in Australia, or 3rd and 5th. So expect them to be right up the sharp end early doors again, especially if the weather's dodgy. We'll come on to that a little bit later. Last but not by no means least, not really big news, but Xavier Simeon, as I said in the news, his best finish of the year, only a couple of points away from his first points of the year. Tom Luthi still without them as well. So there's 2 riders there, the Belgian of Xavier Simeon and the Swiss rider Thomas Luthi. No points so far, but I think that may change.
Now, up at the front in MotoGP, obviously Marquez has done what he's done and no one's been able to almost get near him or catch him or pass him for the most part. That's why he's won the championship, obviously. But has he made it boring? And do you think maybe with his dominance, do you think perhaps he's earned his title this year?
I think there's no question to say that he's not earned his title. He has earned his title. Has he made it boring? No, because a lot of the races he's won have been good head-to-head. And when he's been second, so the likes of the Austrian Grand Prix, good race. The Czech Grand Prix when he was 3rd, good race between the Ducatis, 1st and 2nd. When he was 2nd in Catalonia, that was also not a bad race. There's been good races. Qatar was probably the best race of the year, maybe Thailand when he won. But most of the races have been quite good races. Aragon's been good. Thailand was good. Japan, probably the most boring, I'm not going to lie. Okay. Germany was interesting because Yamaha looked like they made steps back in the right direction. Boring?
Yeah.
Intriguing.
Learning weekend.
Commentator. Assen, brilliant race. He just bolted off a bit at the end. Le Mans, good and interesting as well. Really exciting first half. Bit of a dull second half when Zarco crashed. Jerez, again, a good race for 3rd, but Marquez won that. And America, we kind of knew he was going to do that. So, all in all, Marquez is the series winner and quite deservedly too.
Yeah, indeed. I just thought I'd ask, as I know some people will have alternative opinions, and that's fine. You're allowed alternative opinions as long as you don't be rude and swear about it. But let us know.
And don't disagree with me.
And yeah, it's you can let us know basically if you disagree with Kiko. If you think that maybe Marquez, they've got Kiko sporting a nice Motorsport Awards mug there, Kiko Giles.
They closed today.
Yeah, we'll get onto that later. Thanks for distracting me. But Marquez, a lot of people thinking that maybe he's made the championship slightly boring,
Nope.
Sort of Schumacher-esque in that.
I always think people need to look at other dynamics. I said this about World Superbikes.
Yeah, but they don't though.
Well, they got to look. You've got to make it interesting. It's a commentator's job to make it interesting.
Yeah, but people aren't commentators.
Well, no, but you have to look at
people just tune in to watch good racing, and if it's the same guy,
do I look at different dynamics then? No, it's not the same dynamic then. Different.
So you're blaming other people for being bored?
Yeah.
There you go then, folks. It's your fault.
I am.
Fair enough. Okay. If you disagree with that, then please do tell Kiko why, in the many ways that he's wrong. Let us know this evening. Use the comments box in the comments box below, or you can email kiko@motorsport.radio. Send him an email. Moto2 news then. And,
you can email that one. I'm not logged in on that one. It's the .media one I have.
Moto2, what happened?
Well, actually, I didn't know this until I checked the press releases later on in the day because I was at another event this weekend. We'll come on to that later. There was loads of little events going on around the country. We'll come on to them all a little bit later, just sum them up. But Moto2, Fabio Quartararo crossed the line first, ahead of Bagnaia and Baldassarri, but was disqualified. So Francesco Bagnaia wins, Lorenzo Baldassarri was 2nd, and Miguel Oliveira was 3rd. But that's just done Miguel Oliveira's championship hopes no good at all because now he basically has to win in Australia. But he did that last year, so don't rule him out just yet. Quartararo disqualified for low or for incorrect tyre pressures. Augusto Fernandez was 6th. Iker Lecuona was 8th. They were the 2 notable performances that I picked out. Alex Marquez stayed on the bike for a change and finished 4th, whilst Tetsuta Nagashima took 12th at his home Grand Prix, 2nd point scoring finish on the bounce. So, yeah, the topic of the conversation, really. Fabio Quartararo Was he right to be disqualified? Yes, of course he was, because he's part of a team. The team has to be penalised, and he has to take the penalty with the team. Did he gain much advantage? Probably not. Did he meet technical regulations? No, and that's why he's been penalised. So, but, you know, Bagnaia and Oliveira, they're the only two in it now.
Well, not literally, they're not, but...
Well, they're the only two that can win the championship.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that for the next few races, anyway, that someone else might not upset things, spoil the party,
True.
maybe. I mean, like you say, one of them will, like Bagnaia, will probably win anyway, I'm guessing. Or it could be Oliveira. But will he do it in Australia? That's the question.
The gap is 37 points.
Is it?
That means that Miguel Oliveira, if he finishes in the top 4, he's got it. He's got another chance. Takes it to Malaysia. If he is 5th and Francesco Bagnaia wins, which, let's be fair, has happened on occasion this year, it suddenly becomes a little bit more all over. So Francesco Bagnaia is definitely in the driving seat. He's definitely the favourite.
Okay, fair enough. Moto 3?
In Moto 3. Now, 26 points was the gap leaving Thailand. Everyone said Marco Bezzecchi, not going to do it. He has a bit of luck with Jorge Martin crashing it in the Moto 3 race at the horrible turn 11. But then his racecraft, for I think he's only 19, went and drawn alongside Darren Binder on the run to the line and blasted past his Red Bull KTM. Bezzecchi took a win in Japan, the place where he got his first ever MotoGP or Moto3 podium. 1 point now separates him and Jorge Martin at the top. Martin still leads by 1 point. It is, though, Marco Bezzecchi who is in second place. Fabio Di Giannantonio, he didn't finish the race, so he had a massive chance to gain on his teammate. 29 points is still the gap between third and first. 1 point is the gap between first and second. Fourth place, Enea Bastianini, only scored 9 points. He's on 142. Martin is on 204. It's a difference of 62. It could all be over for Bastianini this year. Bastianini, more or less every year, struggles in Australia. Was 5th there last year, but the 3 times before didn't score any points. Or wiped down a massive crash in 2016, same in 15, same in 14. So Bastianini, not a favourite coming into Australia, but then again, saying that his qualifying's abysmal and comes out of nowhere on race day. He's a proper racer. Keep an eye out on him. He still is in with a mathematical chance of the championship, as is Lorenzo Della Porta. So you've got Bezzecchi, Giannantonio, Bastianini, Dalla Porta, 4 Italians, all chasing down Jorge Martin. All 5 of them are still in with a chance of winning it. The gap is 72 points that covers them. This is game on.
So is it... was the Motegi Moto 3 race the best race of the season in the best season ever, according to Kiko Giles?
It's definitely been the best Moto 3 season ever, because it's the swings and roundabouts, the pendulum swinging each way. There is not one... We're going into the Australian Grand Prix predicting a dogfight between Jorge Martin and Marco Bezzecchi. Bezzecchi got took out in Thailand. Martin took himself out in Japan. They'll probably take each other out in the race on Sunday. And that blows the whole title open then, because then Di Giannantonio will come through. And then we've got a 3-way fight. There is not one year I can remember where it has gone so up and down from the start to the end. No one saw Marco Bezzecchi doing this all year. Everyone thought Jorge Martin would win it and breeze through. Everyone also thought that Martin, once he's got the championship lead, wouldn't lose it. He hasn't lost it yet, but 1 point separates the two of them. It is still not over, and there are still 3 races to go where anything could happen. There is so much left on the table.
Definitely is. All right, then. So if you have any opinions, let's say, or comments, anything that you want to get to us regarding Moto 3, Moto 2, or MotoGP, BSB, or World Superbikes, let us know in the comments box below. If you listen to Kiko throughout all of that and you disagree with anything that he's said, please do let us know, because I'm always keen to... hear from people who especially disagree. Yeah, we are currently... this show is pre-recorded I will say that. I know it's a bit of a bombshell. So we are not going to be able to react to your comments this evening. So just want to say we're not being rude, we're not being disrespectful. It is just that we recorded the show earlier today. And anything else that we have to mention? Yeah, I'm still getting over the fact that I actually broke news to Kiko regarding the the Lake Torrent, was it? Lake, is that what it was going to be called anyway? It's not, probably not happening now because the company has gone into receivership.
That's just what you need when you're building a multi-million-pound circuit, isn't it?
So Dorna once again screwed over by a British and Northern Irish circuit.
And they wonder why we've got no potential World Superbikes and the British Grand Prix that is looking in tatters, because the official British Superbike Championship came out. We've got Luke Mossy on in 5 minutes, so we'll talk to him about this. But the official calendar came out for BSP. They are still using the national circuit. Now, that to me just suggests, if you've got no confirmation a year in advance, half a year in advance, that we're going to have... Oh, we've got Nick on now.
Yes, I gave him a call while you were talking, Kiko. I wasn't paying attention. I should just say, by the way, this is the point in the show now where we have a chat with newly OMG Racing Suzuki rider, newly announced, Luke Mossy, on the show once again. Hello. Good afternoon, Luke.
Hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Yes, I hope you're well. Thank you very much for joining us on the Superbike show. And Kiko has an absolute bag full of questions for you.
Great, can't wait.
I sense the sarcasm, Luke. Thanks for joining us on the show. First, got to congratulate you on getting a new deal with OMG Racing Suzuki. And in a way, getting 2018 done with, because that was a hard year. Any other rider probably would have thrown the towel in halfway through. Why was it so challenging? What happened?
A number of things, really. A lot of people still think that it's from the crash that I had at Thruxton last year, which I can tell you now is not the case. We got over that very quickly after a few months from the crash. So, the testing couldn't have gone any better for us. We had 2 really good tests in Spain in March. And we were feeling really confident going into round 1 at Donington. And, round 1 didn't particularly go to plan. We got a 5th and a 7th, I think. But I think we come away with 5th in the championship. And, I thought, we've got some momentum going now. We can sort of just crack on to the next few rounds. And then, from then on in, it just started deteriorating. We started having problems and mechanical issues, and I had a few crashes myself, and we just never really got the season going. And before we knew it, it was the last round at Brandeis a few weeks ago, and obviously I've signed a new deal now for OMG Suzuki. So yeah, it's just been a really tough year. I really do hope that we do not repeat that for next year. But starting with OMG, we've got a new start, fresh start, and I'm really excited about it.
What makes OMG an attractive option for 2019? They've come in with Gino Rea this year, had reasonable amounts of success, mainly in the second half. Josh Elliott's obviously won races for them in the Superstock 1000 Championship. What makes you want to become part of the OMG Racing family?
Well, I know that the Suzuki's fast anyway. I've been with Gino and Bradley Ray quite a lot this year on track, and I know the bike's got massive potential. I would say it's one of the quickest bikes out there. Also, I've got my whole crew there that I've had for the last 3 or 4 seasons at OMG. We've been talking for a couple of months, and it just all fell into place. And I just want to be working back with the guys that I know, and they know me really well. It's not just a working relationship. We're friends off the track as well. So. Happy riders are fast riders, everyone knows. So I think it's going to be really good for me for next season.
Next season, obviously, an exciting one as well. With the prospect of going to a couple of different circuits. So we got the Donington Park National Circuit, they call it, and a return to the Silverstone National Circuit. Are you excited at that? And it's going to be a bit of a change up in the championship, probably the biggest one we've seen in quite a few years.
Yeah, I'm a little bit gutted about the Silverstone. I got racing on the full circuit again. I did enjoy this year on the national circuit. It was good fun, and it made really good racing for the spectators. But I love the the GP circuit. I think it's great. It's just so fast and flowing, and it really does suit my style. So I'm a little bit gutted not going there again. Donington twice. I'm looking forward to that because we go to Brands 3 times, and it does get a bit repetitive going to Brands 3 times in the season. So I rode on the Donington National Circuit, and I think it's great anyway. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
With that as well, obviously comes a challenge starting a championship in a different place. You didn't go too badly, let's be fair, at the Silverstone National Circuit this year. Leon obviously had a great set of wins, so the Kawasaki could do it. And Gino's results at OMG Racing Suzuki were his best of the year, or one of his best until the last race of the year. Does that give you hope that you can start the season really positively, really happily, get some momentum going, as you said, that you thought you had this year, and crack on from there and build a proper championship fight?
Yeah, I mean, we want to be in the showdown, obviously, and we want to be fighting for the championship next year. That's my ultimate goal. We should have been doing it this year. It just didn't happen. We have been in the showdown already a couple of years ago with the Ball and Kawasaki team. So, we need to get back into that showdown next year, and we want to be starting winning races again and regular podiums every weekend. So. I can't believe that we're saying that we haven't got a trophy from this season. It's just heartbreaking. But, we want to be fighting from the win straight from the off at Silverstone, and then just build up momentum. And just hopefully have a really good season.
You say you didn't get a trophy. Of course, you did get a watch with your pole position at Thruxton. So not all bad.
We've still shown glimmer of hope, I suppose, this year. We've had a few front rows. We have led a race at Thruxton. It just can't hit the nail on the head at the moment. It just didn't happen this year. We just had issues, and like I said, with this fresh start, I think it's needed, to be fair.
At any point of 2018, did you think it was more you than the team and the bike, or did you know from the off that something just wasn't clicking in your side of the garage?
I think it just wasn't clicking, really. I've been with Pete for 4 years, and it's just it was just frustrating because after the great start of the 2017 season we had, leading the championship up until the crash at Buxton, I really did think that we was going to get to that stage this year. But, we've had, like I said, we had a few mechanicals, the brakes failing at Snetterton and other little issues, and I've had a few crashes. So it's not all the team's fault. I hold my hands up as well. But yeah, it's just been one little frustrating year. We never got the ball rolling. We just never got that momentum going. So that's why we didn't really show the true results that we did have in us, and hopefully we will next year.
You had that massive crash at Thruxton in 2017. You came back, some might say too soon, but you came back again in 2018. Looked like it was going to be a good year. Then you had a brake failure at Snet. How much does that knock your confidence as a motorcycle rider? Because a brake failure at 180 miles an hour is enough to keep anyone off a motorcycle for probably a good year or so. How do you guys cope with that?
Yeah, massively. I mean, I've touched wood. That's the first time I've ever had brakes failing on me completely, and I hope it never happens again. Only the people that have had them can relate to it. I mean, it's the most scariest thing in the world. I was back straight at Snet is one of the fastest parts of the UK circuits we go to, and to go for the brakes and have nothing there, and then you got to tell yourself that you've got to jump off it. It's not frightening. It took me a month to sort of get over, just for a mental state, because we was back on the bike a week after testing, and I was just always thinking that the brake's going to be there, and obviously after a while you do forget about it, because you have to, because it's your job. You're a motorcycle racer. But there's a lot of times this year when I've been thinking, is this going to go wrong? Is this going to go wrong? So it's just, we've struggled a lot with confidence this year, and we've got a really big testing winter program coming up for us. Until round one at Silverstone next year. So I need to get that confidence back, and I'm sure we will.
What makes you believe that OMG Racing is the right way forward? Where if I was to say to you, right, put yourself in a 3-year plan, starting from 2019, so 2020, 2021, where would you like to see yourself? Is this like the relaunch of Luke Mossey to get onto the world scene?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, like I said, I want to be fighting for the championship next year, and I'm sure we will. I know that the guys at OMG are fantastic. You know, like I said, I've got all my old crew back, Ray Stringer, Johnny Gill, my mechanics back as well. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to getting started. You know, obviously, I'm only 26, so it would be nice to have an opportunity at the World Superbike stage. But, you know, at the moment, obviously, we're focusing on the British. So, you know, hopefully our time will come in the coming few seasons. But, yeah, I'm just really looking forward to racing with OMG next season.
You've got some experience on the bike already. The race of the year at Mallory Park looked like a bit of a Suzuki demonstration race, if I'm honest. There were so many Suzukis there. How did you feel on the bike? A bit more of a shakedown test than anything. How was it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a race of the year, but it wasn't a race meeting for us. It was a pure test.
Yeah.
You know, after riding the Kawasaki for 4 years, it was a big shock jumping on another Superbike. You know, I've had really good feelings from it straight from the off. It was just very alienating, shall we say, to what I'm used to. But yeah, straight away we got down to some really good lap times before the day was out, which I was really pleased with. And yeah, we made a few little tweaks here and there just to suit my style. You know, we need to change like the seat unit a little bit, etc., just to suit that I want. But we're off to Spain next end of November for 3 days, so hopefully we can get some really good testing done and you know, get Christmas out of the way and then hit the ground running when we come to the official test in March.
From your first outing on the Suzuki, what's been the direct comparison to the Kawasaki? Is there anything that is so black and white kind of different? What is the biggest different thing that you have to adapt yourself to, or that that you need the bike to adapt to you? What's the major change? If there is one, of course.
It's hard to say at the moment, because obviously it's only Mallory Park, and it's a bit like you know, my Tesco car park's bigger than Mallory Park, so it's a little bit of a go-kart track. But it's hard to say. But like I said, I've had really good feelings. I can't say now what's better and what's not, because I've only just sat on it. You know, I'm sure in the next couple of months we'll start to understand a bit more about the bike and what it's going to do for me for next season. But you know, I think the first impressions are really good. You know, Paul Cohen's put a really good team together at OMG. So, yeah, just really looking forward to get away testing next month and get down to some serious business.
With the fact you're joining a team that's been in the paddock a year, with Gino Rear as well, loads of experience from his side of the garage. Looking forward to working with Gino?
Yeah, I mean, it's a world-class rider. You know, well, Super Sport and Moto 2 for a number of seasons. Yeah, you know, coming back to the British Superbike, you know, the circuits that he doesn't know. I don't think he's got that much experience on a Superbike from previous years. So, you know, I think this year for him has been a bit of a learning curve. But, you know, he has shown that he's got pace in some of the practices and a few of the races. But another year under his belt, like I said, we've both got a good testing program coming up. So I'm sure that he'll be at the front in no time.
Final question. Can you be British Superbike champion in 2019?
I really do think, without sounding arrogant, that we can. You know, we definitely want to be in the top 3 in the championship and Showdown, obviously. You know, I think all the riders believe that they can become British champions, and you know, if you don't really think like that, then you should be doing something else. You know, I think that is the ultimate goal that we all want to do, that sit on the grid. And I do believe that the package we've got for next season is definitely capable of doing that. So, you know, I need to get my confidence back, knuckle down. Got really good testing coming up, so I'm just really looking forward to getting the season started now.
Luke, we look forward to joining you on the 2019 journey. Look forward to seeing you back up the front where you belong. Thanks for joining us, and we wish you all the very best for the next year and the winter testing program that should follow.
Thank you very much.
All the best, Luke. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Ray from the Kawasaki Racing Team.
Hi, this is Nick Hamilton.
Hi, I'm Jamie Chadwick.
Hey everyone, I'm Bradley Smith.
Hi, I'm Joanne Zacco.
Hi, I'm Bradley Wright.
Hi, I'm Seb Morris.
Hi, I'm Dan Linfoot from Honda Racing, British Superbike team, and this is Motorsport Radio.
It is the Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio. Hello and welcome. My name is Lester and Kiko is here. Yes, interesting couple of questions. And thank you as well, Luke, for taking 15 minutes out of your Thursday to come on the Superbike show.
Yes,
great to have you on, and good questions there. Anything particular that stood out from his answers that you can reflect on, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, main one was the brake failure and the fact that it took him a month to emotionally get over it. I mean, not many riders would come out and say that. That's quite an interesting
I thought he did well.
thing. It makes you
just
think.
a month. It took me like a few years.
It still is.
Yeah.
It makes you think that, we see riders get up and get away and move on, but that's only from what we can physically see. It's interesting to see what it does up there.
Yeah, certainly. Not everybody is a hero, and it takes a lot to get on a bike that almost killed you. If that's what you thought. I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened, but mentally, you'd be forgiven for thinking, "Oh my God, I just had there was a brake failure at 100 odd miles an hour. I could have been killed. I'm not doing that again." That'd be me. That's how I'd think.
I've got he says it took a month for him to get over it. So we were looking at Snetterton, 17th of June, it was the crash. It was race 1. 17th of June, so it would have affected him for knock hill. And knock hill is a circuit you could really do without a confidence knock. And then you've got July the 22nd. So 2 rounds, basically.
Okay.
Knock hill and Brands Hatch.
I thought he was positive, though, just to extrapolate the positives out of what he was saying.
Yes.
Not to focus on the negatives too much, because 2019 is all going to be, I'm sure, about positives for himself.
And having fun and winning races
is I think the team's motto with OMG Racing, Suzuki, and yeah, the team are as positive and as motivated as any team on the grid, considering it's only their first year in BSB. That's quite incredible, to be honest, and to be doing what they were doing towards the end of the season was almost a reverse from what the thoughts that they had at the start of the season, when Gino was going really well in testing, for example, top 2, 3, 4, 5 in testing. And then it didn't quite work out like that for various reasons. Understandable, because it's their first season in BSB. I'm not saying
issues.
Yeah, obviously it takes a while for everyone to properly bed in and understand what's going on with the bike and where things need to be improved, and just making sure that everybody is happy and everyone's in the rhythm. And that's exactly why, because I don't know, was this announced as just a 1-year deal, or was it just announced? I don't know.
I think it's just a 1-year deal at the moment for 2019
for now. But yeah, with Luke doing such a great work in his previous team, he was there for 4 seasons, was he? 5 years? 2015?
Four.
Yeah. So yeah, he can definitely. He's quite loyal, I would say. He's not he's definitely, I would suggest anyway, a team player. And if anyone can jump on board with a new team like OMG Racing, and stick with them and see them grow and grow with them as well, potentially.
And of course, we kind of made an error in that interview. There is no announcement that Gino's going to be there yet. We're assuming he is. There's no reason, I don't think, to suggest he isn't going to be there. But
yeah, we just presumed.
Maybe Luke will be the number 1. Who knows?
Could happen. And as ever, Motorsport Radio and the Superbike Show is the place where you will find out, usually first.
That was the first exclusive he's done.
Exclusive what?
Video interview. So, online interview.
Okay, fair enough.
Audio. It's a nice soundbite for us.
An interview is still good to have, anyway. But yeah, talking about interviews, we have another one coming up in around 10 minutes' time. Mr. Ben Curry, friend of the show, has been announced recently. Was it just last week? As being a couple of days ago. A couple of days ago, as being a rider in Luke Moss's old team. Awkward. We will chat to him, or Kiko will anyway, and fire off all the important questions that you need to know, like why and what's the point? What are you going to do in this team? Are you going to be any good? Well, prove it, sort of thing. But that I'm not saying that's what Kiko will ask, but normal. If you could ask Ben Curry, BSB sensation, now, I think he's probably right to say, if you could interview him and ask questions, what would be the questions you want to ask? don't ask them, because this show is pre-recorded, so by the time you're watching this, listening to this, it would have already happened. But still, it's just nice to, I think, to get a general idea of what questions to ask. Certainly when I'm interviewing people, I always think, well, what would other people want to ask? Like, what
fans
would
questions.
Yeah, what would the fans want to ask? Not really like stupid questions like, I don't know, what's your favourite bike or whatever, or what's your favourite colour, for example. But other sort of serious type, interesting questions that you don't really get with when you see them on Eurosport and stuff, and they're very formal.
How was it out
They're
there?
in their PR, they don't really say anything. At the end of the season, this time is the time to sort of,
get in their heads
and find out, basically,
because now
exactly
Luke's
what
got
they're
all
thinking.
winter to recover from it.
Yeah. Anyway, round one. So, Luke, what? I don't know. It was just this interview that we did in October with this kid. It's stuck in my head all winter. I can't get over it. So, I'm sure it won't be like that. He's Man of Steel, is our Luke. But yeah, Ben Curry on the show very, very shortly. Before that, though, let us get on to asking some other pertinent questions. Have we got time for a couple of quick rumours?
Yeah, we got a few. Yeah, shall we get on with rumours, because we like a rumour?
Yeah. So BSB rumours and World Superbike rumours.
World Superbike rumours are that MV Augusta are going to pull out, so massive news there. Not quite sure what's going on. One rumour that has now become fact: Triple M Honda will not be in Qatar. So they have completely pulled the plug on that project. It was doomed from the start. PJ Jacobson, their first rider, then he left. Florian Marino actually getting quite a decent result in Argentina, 11th place, then he went. So bad news all round for Triple M Honda. Dan Linfoot rumoured to be going to OMG Racing. Now, I swear on our lives,
Can't have that many riders.
Purely rumour. There is no fact to that. We are not putting that out as a rumour to make it fact.
How many riders are they going to have? Like 6 or 7?
Do not know. We have no idea how true that is. It is just a rumour.
You know what we should do?
Honda.
Ask him.
Honda. Well, this is it. Dan Linfoot. I think Luke Mossey replaced him at Quattro Plant, Bournemouth, Kawasaki.
Interesting.
Not sure. That was in 15. Anyway, yeah, back to where we were. Andrew Irwin. Is he going to go to Tyco BMW? Some people suggesting that. Other people suggesting that at Honda, Christian Eden and Danny Kent will be there. Now, Danny Kent to Honda was a rumour anyway.
No, they'll be at OMG, both of them, all of them. And Andy Irwin.
The other rumour is Tom Neve has already signed for Honda. That'll be interesting. Tyco BMW have offered James Addison a ride. That's still a rumour floating
He'll be
around.
at OMG as well.
British Superbikes, Richard Cooper to go to Supersport with Macadam Yamaha. Maybe a Superstock 1000 return. Who on earth knows?
All right, then. That's some good bit of rumour there. And as ever, if you have heard anything that we need to know about, any bit of hot gossip, let's say, then, let us know. We want to know these sorts of things, especially if you are a rider and you are, I don't know, you've just sealed a deal yesterday, last night, and you're itching to tell someone about it. Come on the Superbike show. We will welcome you with open arms, just like we did with Luke Mossey, for example. Deal was done, I think, announced last Friday, was it?
Last Friday, yeah. At 9 a.m.
We're first a week later with the news. But yeah, no, it's still good to have him on anyway. I mean, why not? But I know a lot of riders and team people, team bosses, do tune into the show, and they often tease us with things that they're sitting on, there's some big bit of juicy news under their hat, then why not get in touch with us, or just contact Kiko, for example. You can do that. Right then, so we will move on then swiftly to our next interview here on the Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio, and let's get Mr. Ben Curry on the phone, phoning him right now, and this should be a good one. Remember not to make too many comparisons with himself and Luke Mossey, i.e. who's going to go the best on that bike, on that championship-winning bike. Hello, good evening, Ben.
How you doing?
Very good. Thank you very much for coming back on the Superbike show. You are live, and Kiko is here. Hello.
Hi, how you doing, Kiko?
I'm all right, Ben. How are you? How is it to be British Supersport runner-up, first of all, before we go anywhere? Not obviously the champion that a lot of people thought you could do it, including yourself, but runner-up still not bad, and look where it's got you for 2019.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good feeling having such a strong year and getting noticed for it, I guess. Obviously, the plan was to win the championship. We didn't do that, but, I feel like overall it's mission accomplished with being able to make a step forward, moving forward up into the Superbike class, which is obviously the goal and dream as a young rider, and what a better opportunity to have to step up into the Superbike class with the reigning champions of the Superbike class. So, I'm over the moon.
7 wins on your way to runner-up position in the British Supersport Championship last year, or 2018, year just gone. You've had a season-long battle head-to-head with Jack Kennedy. Is there anything you might have learned from Jack Kennedy? Anything that you think he might have learned from you? How's the dynamic between you two?
Yeah, I think Jack adjusted his riding style towards me quite well. Obviously, we took the first 2 wins at Donington. I put that down to being a little bit better prepared than Jack, because Jack obviously just stepping into the Yamaha for the first time, obviously needs to adjust, needs some time to adjust. Pre-season is nothing like actual going racing on a motorcycle. So, yeah, I think he needed some time to just adjust to that. I was very well prepared with my trainer. Everything was 100% spot on. Things I learned this year is, to win a championship is a lot of luck involved. You make your own luck. I'm a firm believer of that. However, everything needs to be 100% spot on, not just from my side, but also from the team side, making sure the machinery also runs, 100% faultless all year. And, that being said, I don't feel like the team did anything. They couldn't have done anything more for me. It's one of them sort of situations where we needed a little bit of luck on our side to maybe not break down in a couple of scenarios that no one could really avoid. But it's one of them things. There's going to be plenty more chances to win championships, I'm sure. I'm going to keep working as hard as I'm working now to make sure that I'm at the front of wherever I am racing and race for championships. I think it puts me in good stead mentally for the future.
Talking of the future, you are with the championship winning team for 2019. That has got to be a massive confidence boost for you. You are alongside a race winner in Glenn Irwin. So, all in all, recipe for success. Yeah,
I think so. Stepping into that, Superbike class, there's no better team to do it with. They've just won the championship. They've got very experienced personnel on the team. Glenn's rode for a top team for a number of years now. He knows what it takes to win races. So, it's really perfect. And, Glenn's hungry. He's a hungry rider. He's very much like myself. All we want is the best in what we're doing, and we'll do everything we can for that. And I think that mentality bodes us both well, because we're going to both push each other. Obviously, I'm going to take some time to get used to the Superbike, and I've got a good reference for pre-season testing to sort of mark myself against Glenn to see the benchmark, because at the end of the day he's gone to Brands Hatch for the last round, and he's won a race. So it's perfect, really. I couldn't be more excited.
It is a championship winning team, we've said that, but also you carry on your not ongoing support from Kawasaki, but you carry on your relationship with Kawasaki. Is this something you see going further, maybe to World Supersport, World Superbikes?
Yeah, 100%. I'm loyal to the brand. They've been loyal to me over the last couple of seasons. We'll be moving into our 3rd season together as a partnership. And I just want to keep that going. Everyone at Kawasaki, Ross Burridge, they've been fantastic to me to give me this opportunity and make this happen. Also along with Pete, the team owner giving me this opportunity. But, Kawasaki have backed me and they're 100% behind me. I've done good for them, racing at the front on the ZX6, and they've rewarded me with that, with a Superbike ride, which, for aspiring young racers to show loyalty to a brand that, they've repaid that 100%. This has been going on for a long time, these negotiations. But since Brands Hatch in the middle of the year, I was, made sort of aware that, their plan is to move me up into the Superbike class on board a Kawasaki. That was the big question mark. And they stuck by that. There's been loads of different variables that could have played a factor in where I went, and a lot of things could have stopped that, but they stuck to their word and they rewarded me with a Superbike ride. So I really appreciate that, and I hope we can also move forward together as a brand and ride into a world championship or wherever. If it's a long career in BSB, wherever that is, it's about staying loyal to the brand for sure.
You are one of quite a few rookies at the moment coming into PSP. So you've got yourself coming into the main Superbike class, Ryan Vickers also on a Kawasaki coming into the main Superbike class, Scott Redding coming in onto the Porbird Motorsport Ducati in the main Superbike class. Out of yourself, Scott and Ryan, where do you see, who do you think is going to be better? How do you think they're going to go?
Yeah, it's quite funny really being sort of put into the same bracket as Scott Redding, as a rookie. It seems strange because, you watch him on television every other weekend racing MotoGP, and all of a sudden now we're getting compared as rookies into a championship, which is absolutely crazy. But that's how it is, and I'm so excited to have that opportunity, to go into a championship and be sort of compared to someone like Scott Redding that's almost won Grand Prix World Championships, Moto2, and also done very well in MotoGP. So, that's exciting for me. Where I'm going to stack up against these guys is really an unknown. Obviously, I've never ridden a big bike. I've been on a 600 for a fair few years now. 600 was actually the first, sort of road bike that I've ever rode, and I'm still on one. So it's going to be an eye opener. But I'm ready for that, and with my determination and the want to succeed, I think we can do quite well. So fingers crossed.
Out of those two, who do you think you'll be battling with more over the year, Ryan or Scott?
Look, it's hard to say. Vickers is a great young rider coming up, from Superstock 600. He's had a stellar year. I can't remember someone dominating Superstock 600 like that for a while. The years that I'd done it, it's always been so close, and you've got to look at the riders that I raced in Superstock 600. Taron McKenzie, we battled for a championship with Mason Law. Mason Law and Taron McKenzie, we battled a long, hard year in the championship. Mason ended up being champion. I was second, and Taron was third. And, you look at those riders' achievements now in Superbike, they're doing great things. Taron's probably one of the championship contenders next year. So, Vickers has a very good opportunity. He also, has a lot of talent. So I think he'll be a force to be reckoned with when he gets to terms with it. The only problem with Ryan is he might not have experienced the intensity like that, because that's not because of any fault of his own. He's run away with the championship. He's been riding on his own all year. So he'll have to adjust to the intensity and battling quite hard with people. Scott Redding, obviously a MotoGP rider, he knows what it takes to ride a big bike. He knows what it takes to ride, with the best in the world. So who will I be battling with? It's very hard to know. Scott Redding will probably most likely be at the front, so I'd like to say I'll be battling with Scott Redding majority of the year, because then that means I'm at the front.
Good way of putting it. You say at the front, is the showdown a realistic prospect for 2019?
Never say never. Realistically, I'm setting realistic goals, and that's to make big steps forward. There's plenty of other goals that I've got, starting to. Also, this is quite fresh, It's not really sunk in yet that I'm a Superbike rider, so I haven't had a lot of time to sort of sit down and plan. I'm preparing. I'm already started preparing for next year with my trainer Sam Yassin, and we're already putting the steps in to be, he's trained guys that have battled for race wins week in, week out, so he knows what it takes. So we know what it takes to get to the top. Whether we do that or not, make the showdown, who knows? But obviously, as a racer, I'd like to sit here and say, that's the plan, to make the showdown. But we've got to be realistic as well. I'm going to do everything I can, and if it happens, it happens. But at the end of the day, it's a learning year, and that's what I've been told from my team, from Kawasaki, that we want you to go out there and learn. We don't want you to get ahead of yourself. We want you to just make steps forward and don't do anything silly. And that's what I'm going to do, and take that advice and move forward. So really, I can't give you a straight answer there, Kiko, to be honest. I'd like to say yes, but how many people have made the showdown in their first season of BSB? To be honest with you, I don't know. So I know it wouldn't be a lot, because we would have heard about it a lot and I would know about it. So, it's going to be tough.
You're jumping onto a bike that Luke Mossey rode last year. Little bit difficult. His results didn't really come through. We've already spoke to Luke about that. Are you comparing yourself to Luke and his season last year at all?
I think it'd be silly to compare myself to Luke's season last season, because that season really doesn't reflect on Luke as a rider. Luke, I think it was last year, I can't remember 100%. I think it was last year that Luke, he was battling for a championship all the way up to halfway point of the season before his massive injury. I think he was leading the championship, in fact. So to compare myself to Luke in a year that really doesn't define him as a rider, he didn't have a year that he probably wanted to. And, it's a real shame. Is that a true reflection of where I should be? I'm not sure. So, I think comparing myself with young guys that have made the step up into Superbike is probably realistic. A lot of those guys have done different things. Brad Ray obviously stepped up as a rookie, a couple of years ago, and slowly built, and then bang, made a massive impact, and then turned up at the following year and was a title contender. Tara McKenzie, he's made steps forward this year like I haven't really seen a rookie do before. He was taking it step by step at the start of the year, doing a really good job, and could have won races at the end of the year. So, I think that's what I need to do. I need to look at those guys and say, okay, they've made this step. That ain't going to be easy. I've got to work really hard and try and get as close as I can to, getting up into the top 10 by the end of the year, and, take it as it comes, really. I'm not putting pressure on myself. I don't want to sit here and say, I've got to do this, got to do that. I've got to compare myself with him, and he was on the podium by this round. I think it's about, self-assessment and just taking step by step and doing the right thing and not doing anything silly, crashing, costing the team a load of money and hurting myself. So I think really that's how it's going to be, to be honest, Kiko.
We're on mute. Sorry, it's because I've been scrolling through news. Finally, if I was going to say to you, end of the season 2019, where would you be happy to be in the championship? What would you like to say? What championship position? How many podiums, wins? What would you say? What would you consider a good year at the end of 2019?
I think a really good year would be finishing inside the top 10. You only have to have a look at the riders that are in that championship next year and on the bikes that they're on. There's no bad teams. There's no bad teams, these days in BSB. Everyone's so close. The racing's close from first all the way down to 20th. The lap times are so close. So to say if I could get inside the top 10 in my first year, have a couple of good races, show some strength in some races, and just learn valuable lessons. I think if I can go away healthy at the end of the year, not in a million bits, and I've got good solid points under my belt, I think that's job done. And then we can build on the following year. It's a multi-year project. Although the contract says 1 year, it's a multi-year plan. With Kawasaki and Bournemouth, it's about building myself for the future, and I'm confident I can race for championships in BSB one day. When that is, I'm not sure, but we've just got to tick the boxes along the way. And I think top 10 is a realistic goal, and I think that would be mission accomplished.
Ben, brilliant to hear from you once again on the show. Fantastic stuff. Great insight as always. We wish you all the very best for 2019, and of course, congratulations on getting to the Superbike class. It is very much deserved.
Yeah, thanks very much, Keek. Look forward to speaking to you again soon.
No problem. I'm sure it's not far away.
Cheers, buddy.
This is Motorsport Radio. Join the conversation and have your say on motorsport-radio.com. Motorsport Radio. The Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio.
Wow, fantastic stuff. Two brilliant interviews with two brilliant BSB riders. Luke Mossey earlier on, and there Ben Curry. Fantastic to have them both on the show. It really was. This is the Superbike Show. This is Motorsport Radio. My name is Lester. Hello and welcome. So if you've just tuned in, you're a bit late, but don't worry, because you can go back on our website, motorsport.radio, and listen back, watch back both of those interviews and the rest of this show here on Motorsport Radio. Kiko Giles back once again. Decent interview. Well done.
Thank you. Interesting to see where he's not... I was going to say something different then. He's not shooting his bullet too soon. He's quite reserved and not getting ahead of himself. Top 10's very, very much feet on the ground for Ben, and we're looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a good indicator to see where he goes.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, just because I was listening to that interview and scrolling through Ben's Facebook, Twitter, whatever you call it, the old social media thing, whatever the kids are doing nowadays, his Twitter. His first retweet, as I check it out, was from Bournemouth Kawasaki yesterday, and I think this probably applies. This thinking applies to maybe a lot of people, and it's potentially incorrect. A lot of people, I think, believe that Ben has maybe just bought himself a ride at Bournemouth, and that. I mean, if you are one of those people, it's. It was addressed directly by Pete Extens himself yesterday on Twitter when he was replying to another fan. He says it was incorrect. This is to quote the tweet. Incorrect. We have employed Ben with a wage. He is a promising young professional and deserves the chance. He doesn't need to bring money. Just his talent and enthusiasm is good enough for me, says Pete Extens. So that, in case you were wondering, was the official line on that. Ben has not has not purchased a seat at the team, but I didn't think so anyway, but understandably so. There would be some people who might think that, so now you know, so now you don't have to think like that.
He's the guy who they were replying to has deleted his original tweet.
Understandably.
Because he didn't want to offend Curry.
Or
What's Curry got to do with it?
Or he probably just felt a bit stupid for just having the wrong impression, and
this is why I think you need people in motorsport to shut down the keyboard warriors. Colin Wright is a master of it.
People with an opinion they're not necessarily keyboard warriors. They might be, let's say, I don't know, listeners to this show, and they might be understandably mistaken because they don't have the same access to riders or other motorsport people, other motorsport teams that we do. So we can necessarily literally send someone a message going, are you racing with Watson? What's the deal with Thingy? That just happened at the weekend, for example. There's
one way to present an opinion, and then you're presenting your opinion as fact. And there's the difference.
You wouldn't know out about that, though, would you?
No.
Anyway, so now you know. But like I say, as we all basically just agree with Pete, that Ben is a quote, promising young professional and deserves a chance. And his talent and enthusiasm is what got him into Bournemouth Kawasaki, JG Speedfit. And there you go. That's the official line on that. And we wish him the very best. We will, of course, remain stalking him throughout Motorcycle Live and throughout 2019. If as long as he's willing to come on and still talk. I mean, literally, anyone who's
maybe
willing
he
to
could do a
talk
bit
to us.
presenting for us.
Why not? Who knows? That old Australian charm of his. Why not? We've been trying to get Brad on for quite a while. He's been busy.
Brad has been on though.
Briefly, briefly, I believe. As has Luke as well previously. But yeah, we're going to make a list of targets that we want to basically approach riders at the Motorcycle Live show in a few weeks now. When's that? In 2-3 weeks' time?
A month, isn't it? Is it a month?
I can't remember. Anyway, whenever
we're not there until the 19th, 20th, and 21st. We're not there for the first 2 days because it's the Valencian Grand Prix. Someone hasn't put the calendar together very well this year.
Yeah, Donna.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, we will be there.
That does mean we probably will have Scott Redding now.
And yeah, we will. Scott Redding. We'll stalk him after he's been on the stage there to do some interviews and talk about whatever it is they do on the stage, quizzes and things. We'll be all over it. I think last year we managed to get about 30 interviews from riders.
37.
Something like that. I was worn out editing all of that. Kiko just turns up and he's like, yeah, so I'm just interviewing people. I'm the one who edits them all. Exhausted.
Can we just say, I was the one doing the walking and the on-the-spot thinking and all the late-night prep in a smoke-filled hotel room. Thank you, Grenfell, or what was it called? The
Let's Not Libel Anybody.
No, it basically was. The only room they had left was a smoking room. Leicester comes in on the Friday night, Saturday night, starts complaining, parks his van across 3 spaces because it's a white van.
Shall we move on, folks? Because we've got other very important bike stuff to talk about as well. So, so let's talk about now the World Superbike Championship, the preview at, Lost Isle. I can never...
The seal got lost.
Yeah.
Lost Isle.
I don't know. It's over there, isn't it? So, what will be happening?
Superbike stuff. That's what's going to be happening. Jonathan Ray looking to sign off with another double at the end of the season. That'll be 6 on the bounce, 12 race wins on the bounce, obviously. Something of pure genius. Jonathan Ray thoroughly deserving his World Superbike title. But take him out of the equation and World Superbikes is alive and kicking because Chaz Davies is looking to hold on to second place in the championship ahead of Michael van der Mark. So there's still enough time and chances left for van der Mark to get to Chaz Davies. Chaz Davies, the worst he can beat, is 3rd. Tom Sykes versus Michael Landry, that's more of a battle for 4th place, but both can still mathematically get 3rd. So should Michael van der Mark make a complete horlicks of race 1, and Tom Sykes and Michael Landry have a good race 1 as well, could make race 2 quite exciting. Aprilia looking for a decent result as well. They're signing off from the season with Lorenzo Salvadori and Eugene Laverty, both of whom are looking for rides, we are told, in World Superbikes. There is no way they will fit in at the SMR plan. And Aprilia, as a manufacturer, of course, have an uncertain future. No one knows where they're going to go. Leon Camier for Red Bull Honda looking to give Honda their first podium in way over a year, if not nearly 2 full seasons without a podium. So not good from Honda at all. Loris Baz hoping for a podium at the circuit, which he will know well. He's been to Losail quite a few times. 15, 16, 17, 18 will be his 4th season there. 3 years on MotoGP. His 4th will be at World Superbikes. No Triple M Honda or MV Augusta. Both of those teams have pulled out, so there's even less bikes on the grid in World Superbikes, which I think says more about maybe the possible demise of the series. Keep an eye out for Toprak Razgatlioglu. He's in good form. Podium last time out in Argentina. He will want to sign off with another podium to kind of set a platform and foundations for an ongoing season in 2019. He's staying with the Pacetti Kawasaki team. He may well be a one to watch. We said he was one to watch this year, and he has been. Is he a top 3 contender, though, next year? Who knows?
I do.
Why? Come on, then. Let's have a debate. Is Toprak Razgatlioglu going to get more podiums next year?
No.
And top 3.
No, you
Why?
you only think he's one to watch because you like saying his name.
No, I don't. He is one to watch.
Yeah, if you're watching the middle of the grid.
Oh, now that's just funny.
Anyway, so...
I'll tell him that next time I see him in my local kebab house.
Wow.
Can I just say...
If it's an apology, yes, go ahead.
No. Fred Clark, when Keenan Softwalkley won a World Supersport race in 2017, said at Donington Park, on the live commentary, the kebabs are on him. So, you know...
Yeah, but you're of a very, very, very different generation, so no excuses.
No, not really.
All complaints sent to Kiko Giles.
The same way that when Marco Melandri wins this weekend, I shall take him for a Bella Italia when he returns to the UK after he's paid his tax bill.
This was the last ever Superbike show on Motorsport Radio. Jesus. Okay, so, right, Sykes then. He'll obviously want to go out on a bit of a high and give Ray a metaphorical or actual black eye on track anyway. Will he be able to do it?
He's done well at World Superbikes at the Sale before, so Chaz Davies... He's going to be the one to watch, I think, at the Sale. But Tom Sykes, it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard for him. He could do it. He's done it a couple of times this year, but he's only got 1 race win. So Kawasaki's go well there. But Jonathan Ray doesn't always dominate there. I mean, as I say, Chaz Davies has gone well there before. So, you know, Chaz Davies going well might set him away from the field, leave Jonathan Ray in the hands of Tom Sykes, and maybe those two will have one last on-track scrap in the same team. It'd be interesting to see. So, yes and no, I'm not convinced either way, really.
So, you don't think much of Sykes, then?
Basically.
Right, there you go. If you disagree with Kiko's analysis, then let us know in the comments box below, wherever you're tuned into this. And don't forget, as well, if you've missed most of this show, well done. Wasn't really good, anyway, apart from when Luke and Ben came on. Yeah, no, you can actually go back. I kid, of course, Kiko.
He has to go at me for laughing.
You can go back and tune in to all of the rest of the show and download it in audio and video format. Head to motorsport.radio and it will be on there. You can even search for it and go back and search for the individual interviews from all of the this year's shows. You can also download it as an audio download. I think they refer it to as a podcast or something, and also tune in on Spotify. Yes, that's a thing. If you know about that, you can listen to us on Spotify and on All Is Good and on the Apple podcast app. I think, is that a thing? I don't know. We're on Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple iTunes thingy, the Google podcasty thing. We've got a 24/7 radio stream as well going on. So anytime. If you can't get to sleep or whatever, stick that on. Kiko will send you to sleep for free.
I'm sending myself to sleep now.
And check it all out. It's all on motorsport.radio. Yay. And also, yes, a quick mention as well, by the way. If you are just tuning in to us and you're wondering when the closing date for the nominations phase for the Motorsport Awards is, well, it's now. You've missed it. Yes, all the nominations are now closed. You can no longer nominate anybody else. You can no longer nominate yourself, and some people have been doing that. It's allowed, and it's fine.
I haven't. I don't even think I've done my nominations, you know.
Fantastic.
I'm sorry. It's just been so busy.
Yeah, so
and
busy.
We've been doing the shows.
Yeah,
and
he didn't even know that Northern Ireland World Superbikes wasn't happening. I had to tell him. Anyway, he's been so busy in researching restaurants in Mansfield.
I have. I tell you, I had a lovely Portuguese on Tuesday.
And the awards for Motorsport Awards will be, the final shortlist will be coming out on Monday, the 5th of November. So in just about, a week and a half's time. And that is when the final exciting list, that's when all the polls get opened again. And you can finally vote for the winner of a Motorsport Award, winning anything from Rider of the Year, best battle in a race, the best on-track, scrap within a race which is the exact same thing. The best up-and-coming rider, and there's plenty of those. The best racing bike of the year. You can actually vote for the winner of that. Which would it be if it's not a MotoGP bike? The best road bike as well. If you ride a bike and you wanted to vote for the winner of that, you can do so. November the 5th, or maybe even Marshal of the Year or Unsung Hero. There's some very, very exciting people nominated. I know. I've been keeping an eye on all of them, basically. And even Commentator of the Year and Journalist of the Year. A lot of the Motorsport Radio people been very excited about that. But they're not eligible, unfortunately, Kiko. No. So yeah, nominations are now closed, and November the 5th, Monday, November the 5th, is the time when you will find out who has made the final list, and it's your time to vote for the winner. So for now, we'll stop bugging you about the Motorsport Awards and carry on talking about bikes.
We can.
Yeah.
Well, we've got next. I think we've more. Do you know what? We have blasted through. It's the first time, really. Well, yeah, it's the first time really we've stayed on time.
Sort of.
We've got the Australian Grand Prix to preview. Shall we do that?
Can do, yeah, whatever, I suppose, that's whatever. Yeah, do that then.
Australian Grand Prix. So, championship's done. It's a race for second. And unbelievably, Valentino Rossi, 9 points off second place in the championship. And for someone who hasn't had a podium since, good Lord above, since the second, since Sachsenring, must be. It's got to be that long ago. He hasn't had one in the second half of this year. I'm fairly sure Valentino Rossi's led races,
okay,
but he's not had a podium. That is something I've only just realised. I think it'll all change in Australia, though. I honestly think he'll be back on the podium in Australia.
Watch, is he? Yeah.
At the Australian Grand Prix, yes, whereas Andrea Dovizioso probably isn't.
I'm watching Gavin.
The Seagull.
Yeah. All right.
Andrea Iannone got up a bit up close and personal there. As I just put my teeth back in there. Sorry about that.
It's Gavin. He was
choking on him.
Yeah. What was it? Leave your chips out for Gavin. Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah. That Iannone, he's got a right chip on his shoulder.
No, it's just Gavin.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, what was you saying? Something about racing?
Yeah. MotoGP. Suzuki go all right at Phillip Island. One to watch as well, Jack Miller, Pramac Ducati star, of course, led his home race last year with a broken leg from 5th on the grid. So watch out for him. KTM have had decent results there in the past. Don't rule them out. Bradley Smith and Paul Espargaro both qualifying in top 10 last year. That was an incredible achievement really from both. There's a little bit more to come, I think, from Danilo Petrucci. Don't rule him out. But again, it all depends on whether the Ducati will be able to work or not. It honestly is one of those enigmas we do not know. Alvaro Bautista has already said that the engine power on that bike is better than his old one, but everything else is a bit unknown. So as far as that's concerned, we really just do not know. And talking of Alvaro Bautista, of course, he is a rider back in MotoGP on a factory machine before he clears off to World Superbikes for next year. And while we're on about that, he's really going to shake World Superbikes up. So anyone who doesn't think World Superbikes is going to be watchable next year, I honestly tell you to reconsider that. I think World Superbikes could be back next year. It's come back a little bit this year, but next year, big comeback year.
Have you been reading the press releases again?
Quick statistic on Alvaro Bautista. Last back-to-back 5th place was in Malaysia and Australia. That was in 2013 for Honda. I'm just saying. And that was on his run between Aragon and Valencia when he was no lower than 5th. So just keep your eye on Alvaro this weekend. Australian Grand Prix, 17th last year, 12th the year before, 14th the year before that being 14. He was 6th. Year before he was 5th. Year before that he was 5th. And then he retired and was only 12th. So it's a bit of a mixed bag for Alvaro Bautista, but Ducati are probably the bigger. That's where the big question mark is. 2017. Click on their results from 2017 at the Australian Grand Prix. just get it up now. So top Ducati was 11th place and Scott Redding. 12th was Danny Pedrosa on the Honda. Then it was Dovizioso. Then it was Carol Abraham. Then it was Jorge Lorenzo. So your 3 Ducati riders, 13th, 14th and 15th. The top one was 11th. Both KTMs in the top 10. Suzuki's top 10 for them as well. Again, I just do not know what to expect from Ducati this weekend. I hope for a lot. I expect not very much.
Interesting.
Depends how Dovizioso's... Interesting now, Dovizioso is going to get on with this as well, because he was still in with a championship chance last year. Will he ride dejectedly and a little bit disappointed in himself, or will he go out and try and prove everyone like me wrong?
Almost certainly, yes, and he'll probably do that. Indeed. Yamaha, are they... do you think... you mentioned it earlier, that they could... Probably Rossi anyway, get a podium. But do you think maybe they I don't know, is it dangerous to say that they're back?
Oh, it's such a difficult one. They want to leave their problems behind. They obviously, that's PR talk. Everyone wants to leave their problems behind. But Yamaha go well at Phillip Island. I was going through Valentino Rossi's record there earlier. He's been on the Premier Class podium something like 16 times. Now 17 after last year. I just do not know what to expect. They were on the podium. Yamaha have been on the podium every single year in Phillip Island that I can think of. There hasn't been a year where no Yamaha, I don't think, has been on the podium. Lorenzo was on it in 2012. 2011, was he on it then?
Are you asking me?
Maybe 2011 was the last time there was no Yamaha on the podium in Australia.
Okay.
Either way, 2010 there was, 2009 there was, 2008 there was, 2007 there was, 2006 there was.
Yeah,
it goes on and on and on, all the way back. So for 1 year, that manufacturer just wasn't on the podium. I bet they weren't far behind anyway. Just do not rule them out. If Yamaha are going to win one race this year, I think maybe Australia is the one. And I have had a fiver with Keith Ewan that maybe, they will win a race. He doesn't reckon they will, but that was a couple of months ago. I hope he's forgot.
Well done, Keith, for winning a fiver. All right, so are we done? I think that's literally everything sort of wrapped up, I think. Any other bits of news?
Can we do a little bit on Moto2, the championship permutation? We went over them earlier. If Francesco Bagnaia wins, Miguel Oliveira must be somewhere else in the top 4. If he's 5th and Bagnaia wins, the title is done and dusted. They are the only two that can win it now. In Moto3, it's not quite as clear cut. Cannot be won this weekend. You would have to go to Sepang with more than 50-point lead. That's not going to happen. There's only a 1-point lead as it is. But some riders can be eliminated out of the championship race. So Enea Bastianini is one of them. Lorenzo Dalla Porta is the other. They're 4th and 5th. Both of them are teammates at Leopard Racing Honda. The main 3 you want to keep an eye on: Jorge Martin, Marco Bezzecchi and Fabio Di Gianantonio. They are the riders that you need to keep an eye on. Bezzecchi, I am going for a win this weekend. He's never had back-to-back wins. I think this could be his time to shine. I also think that Jorge Martin is under immense pressure. He cracked when he wasn't even under pressure last time out. Who knows how he's going to cope in Australia this weekend?
Yes, all to play for, I would say, in Moto3. And yes, as ever, what are the times? Do we know when it's all on?
2 o'clock in the morning for Moto3, 3:20 for Moto2, 5 o'clock for MotoGP. It'll probably all finish by 6:30. But that's just how it is at the moment, I'm afraid. I really do advise getting up for the Moto2 one. Okay. Moto3 one at 2 o'clock. It has.
If you're going to be up at that time anyway, you might as well just stay and watch them all.
You may as well stay up and watch them all.
There you go. All right.
I'll message you to let you know it's on, Lester.
No, you're all right. That's fine. So there we go. That was let's say a rapid edition of the Superbike show. I say not even. Well, it's like an hour and a half, I think.
But we get 2 top class interviews on.
Yeah, and we've got 2 great riders on, Ben Curry and Luke Mossey, as well, of BSB fame. What more could you ask for? Same again next week?
Don't see why not. There's no... Oh, yes, there is. There is a problem with next week. I'm not here.
Okay, Kiko's not here, so we're not doing
I'm
it
in
next
Malaysia.
week.
We could do one via time zones.
Nah, you're all right. I don't. Nah. I'm not getting up at like 7 a.m.
No, because it'll be my time zone. I'll have to stay up late, and you can do it in the afternoon.
Yeah, that never happened.
And then we can join our Malaysian Grand Prix correspondent, myself.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah,
Maybe see you in a couple of weeks.
maybe in a couple of weeks then, after providing that Kiko's not been locked up in Malaysia for doing whatever it is you would imagine him to do. Yes, he probably would do that. But thank you anyway for tuning in, and don't forget you can download an audio version of the show. Go to motorsport.radio or listen back to the show on our 24/7 radio stream, which is on motorsport.radio, and check us out on what was that thing again? Not Spotify. Yes, that was it. There's too many things we're on now anyway. But
is he going to say Spritz?
No, Spotify. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Superbike Show. I'm Lester. Kiko Giles is here, and we will see you in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you. Good night.
Motorsport Radio. The Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio.